Welcome, Coach Jonathan Hawks from Tates Creek High School. Thanks for participating in the 2022 Prepspin Football Preview. We're here in the Whitaker Bank Broadcast Studio, Rafferty's Restaurants. And thanks to everyone for tuning in for the Prepspin Football Webcast as we start the football season. And of course, I want to introduce Coach Mike Meehan. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing fantastic. What a lot of fun this is going to be.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And William Warfield, the King of Stream. How's it going over there, William?
It's going good, man. Going good.
That's good. And I want to introduce for our first coach, Jonathan Hawks. And Jonathan, we're hearing a lot about Tates Creek, that it's a team on the rise, so to speak. You know, Tates Creek does rise. And talk to us about your schedule.
I think, the first game, of course, we not really a game, the Scrimmage, we go down to Elizabethtown. That'll be on Friday. And then we'll come back and I play my old teammate, Craig Yeast up there in Mercer County. We'll play on next Saturday. And then from there, I believe we go to, we'll have Douglas at home, and then it'll go Mason County. And then I think it's Woodford County, Bryan Station, Lexington Catholic, Paul Lawrence Dunbar. If I forget somebody, I apologize. It's a lot that, your brain, you want to be able to slow it down so you can kind of take it game by game. And I know we're in the back half of the season with Henry Clay, Lafayette, and Boone County. So it's a pretty hefty schedule. That front part of the schedule is really, really tough. And so I'm looking forward just to seeing how many kids step up to the challenge.
And you talked about Craig Yeast at Mercer County. I know there went a lot went into that scheduling of Craig Yeast.
Well, I actually last year we played Boyle County in this same Mercer County. I don't know what they call it, but it's their bowl game, and so I know that we played Boyle County last year. And when I took over, I was like, hey, do we go back to Harrisburg or to Mercer County? And they said, yep, you actually play Mercer County. So I'm excited, I'm happy, right? Because I'm thinking like, all right, we get a chance to go Mercer County. Then there's Craig gets hired. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Then I got to play Craig, you know what I mean? So I'm like, it's an exciting time though. Him and I are good friends, and so I'm excited for that challenge,
Coach?
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about your team, but first of all, do you have some? I would like to hear who your assistant coaches are. Being a new coach, although you're not new at Tates Creek,
right?
I want to explain that real quickly, but you really are. Had to hire some people. So
yeah. I went in and going into the coaching staff hiring. I didn't want to just hire any guys just to come and be a part, because I'm such a community person. I just work so hard, not just on the field. I spend countless days and hours working outside of football just to do different things with my families in the community, with some of the community supporters that we have. So I needed guys that could be out there with me, that wasn't afraid to be out there. So I hired a really good young guy, Coach Taylor Hatchell. He's my quarterback coach. Played collegiate ball, and that's another thing that I was looking at too, somebody who can identify with the game of football, not just at the high school level, but somebody who has that collegiate level experience as well. So, but he does a really good job with the development of the quarterbacks. Of course, you got myself. I'm still gonna stay with the receivers, but I brought on a young man that I truly I appreciate him. He really works hard, played football at the Division I level. His name is Omar Black. He'll be a part of the coaching staff and really works. He works hard with me, and I'm excited about him. We got Coach Justin Adekoya. He played at Eastern Kentucky, had an opportunity to play a little NFL ball himself. Does a really good job relating to the kids. The kids love him, they respect him, and I call him my big sidekick, because at the end of the day, he's one of those guys that's an enforcer. So I enjoy him and his experience. We got another coach played at Memphis. His name Coach Brown, called Marcus Brown. So Coach Marcus Brown is another guy. He'll kind of work between that offense and defensive line, between both of those, just to give those coaches some support, especially from the development level, from the freshmen and JV guys. Really need to make sure that those linemen are getting the type of support that they need. And Coach Brown played at Memphis, so he has a lot of great experience. And look, between Coach A and Coach Brown, they're both about 6'6", so it makes me look small, but they're my bodyguards, right?
Yeah.
And then
bookends.
Then we got Coach Trey Hughes on. I kept him on from the previous staff, and he'll be the running backs coach. And again, just having guys that are community people. And so when you look at the defensive side of the ball, you got a guy named we're all out of state, most of the coaches too. So you got Coach Brandon Duncan. He came over from another school here locally, but he played at Dunbar High School. He's our defensive backs coach. Does a really good job communicating with the kids. really does a great job of just building relationships with the kids on and off the field, which has been huge. I need that.
Yeah.
Coach LaShawn Miller, he's our D coordinator. He's a guy that he's from Florida, played ball in North Carolina at Elon College, and just has a really, really good grasp on defense. And I trust what he's doing. He has a great group of guys behind him. So we got Coach Greg Gerton. He's a linebackers coach, special teams guy for us, and we kind of make the special teams collectively a group. So that's been special. I know I'm going on. I got a bunch, Coach.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. I mean, you got a good staff.
Yeah.
And young coaches.
And also that staff's like an extension of you, isn't it?
Yeah.
You
I
know,
get excited talking about them because they good men.
And we know you, Gary and I for sure know you, and we know that your number one concern is raising good people, having good people out there. So I'm just going to make that clear to everybody. We got a really good man here at coach, not just a good coach.
Excellent.
Yes,
we got an excellent man.
All right, absolutely. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about your team. Name me maybe 2 people that graduated that you're going to miss since you were there last year, and then talk a little bit about who you've got returning this year.
The main man's back. The quarterback is back.
I want to say, man, when you think about who's gone, we had some guys last year that, and again, I hadn't coached for 3 years before I came on last year, so I don't know how big of an impact a lot of the kids made. And I know one right off the bat is Matthew Underwood, because I watched him grow from the time he was younger, until now. And Elijah Perkins is one of my guys who actually come out and ran, and he threw for me in track. Those 2 guys pop off the list right off the bat, because both of those guys I really got to know really, really well. But of course, Matthew, again, so watching him grow and just being where he's at right now, those 2 guys will definitely be missed on the D line and in the running back room. So
I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's real quickly. I'll name a position, and you kind of give me a quick synopsis of where you stand right now. Let's start on offense. Just give me your offensive line group.
Devin Young.
Well, you don't have. You can name them if you want to, but I'm just talking about where you think your strengths and weaknesses are.
I think the tackles are my strengths, because I got 2 guys that played the last 2 years that are hard workers, and the big guys can move really well. I think the heart of the team is the center. Has a lot of heart, improved over the offseason, got in the weight room, really developed his body and his strength, working on his hips and footwork and mobility. So I think that he's going to be a really outstanding player for it this year.
Good. Okay. What about your backfield, your running backs?
Made some guys make some different transitions. Definitely one that sticks out to me. He's going to surprise a lot of people. I think he can surprise himself as well. So we hopefully, bigger running back, be able to come out and have some success this year.
All right. And then receivers. I know that's what you coached before.
I love my receivers.
Are you 4 wide?
Just multiple sets, just depending on what we like as far as matchups. But definitely got some quick guys. Majority of them are track runners. Well, all of them that'll be starting to run track. So, I worked a lot on hips. Again, we still got time. We still got some development that's needed. But I think we building off of last season and then the work we've put in the spring into now with the speed work and with the footwork in the summer. I think the receivers are going to be developing even during the course of the year. But I think that they're getting better every single day, and I'm excited about that group.
Yeah, they'll get better with your coaching. Are they going to block people too?
They ain't got no choice.
I like that.
And Coach, working with those receivers, that's what you're used to doing.
Yes, sir.
I know your receivers starting to really shine this year for you, 707.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about a few of your receivers that you think would be good for Tates Creek.
Gosh, thank you a lot, Gary. Like, I love them all, even my young guys, but I definitely think, Keyshawn Doctor is one of the outstanding young men that kind of reminds me of myself. He's a shorter guy. He's not as fast as I was. He's quick. He's quick. Speed-wise, of course, he ain't running 4.2. But, he ran track and he got faster. So I give him a 4.6, you know what I'm saying? But he's very quick, elusive, does a really good job getting up, catching the ball with his hands. I always say, he should make the first guy miss off the line every time. So anytime it's one-on-one, I trust him to go and either beat a guy deep or get off the line and catch the slant. Whatever we need, Keyshawn can do it. Marquavion Smith, another one, smaller guy just like I was, but explosive, has the hands to go out and catch the ball, but also has that speed to break away. So
yeah.
What about your quarterback?
Oh, Andrew's a beast, and one thing I want to say about Andrew is that when I first met Andrew, the first thing that they told me, and this was 2 years ago, is that because I coached his sister, she was part of my state championship track team, and so I had to work on her running. And so her dad said, well, Coach, you might have to work on Andrew too. I said, oh, Lord. So, working on his sister wasn't the easiest thing. I had to get her to learn to start running the right way. And so we took 2 years, and you know what? She gave up volleyball and really focused on her running. So Andrew did the same. He actually gave up basketball this past year just to focus on development with his running. And Andrew became one of the 4 to 5 fastest guys on the track team this year. And I know a lot of people don't know it, but Andrew went to the state championships this year as a 300 hurdler and got second at the region meet in the 300 hurdles, you know. And so, and heck, at the beginning of the year, he was like 10th. So he's a faster kid now. I trust his legs. I trust his speed. Now I trust his arm, too, because he's been doing a really good job working on his accuracy. So
excellent.
Coach, what is the number one thing that you have to concern yourself with as a head coach now? You're not an assistant, you're a head coach in track, but you haven't been in football. What thing do you have to focus on now to make sure that you're getting all the results that you want?
Community. And I ain't just talking about the community within football, the community within Tates Creek, ultimately pouring out to the community of Lexington. I think one thing that I've always focused on is that we can give positivity throughout the, you know, if one area of this town can create positivity, okay, well then let's pour it out to the other parts of the community as well. And I think we got to support each other. I think as coaches, I think as players, I think we ought to learn to be competitive, but I also think we need to learn to be able to start coming together, you know, because at the end of the day, when's the last time a Lexington school won a state championship? And I think in order for us to continue to get to that level where we can do that, we got to start making each other better. So if we got to be competitive as coaches just to get those results, that's fine, but we got to love each other at the end of the day, and it goes back and forth even with the players. You know, we got to do the same thing, teach these guys how to be competitive, but let's do it in the right way.
You're kind of an offensive guy, but let's jump over to defense now. Who's your defensive coordinator, and what are you looking for on defense?
Well, LaShawn Miller, like I said, Florida guy. Speed, you know, speed. We really want to teach our kids to be disciplined. You know, I'm the first thing I did when I took over, I told the defensive coordinator, I say, I'm not a defensive guy. I love defense because it wins you championships, but at the end of the day, I need to trust that the defense is doing everything they can to help us win ball games. And so I put all my eggs in the basket on making sure that we got the guys on defense. So he's got a lot of good newly D linemen that I like, speed guys. We want to be good on third downs. We want to try to stuff the run as much as possible. We got some linebackers that can do that. Like I said, at the linebacker spot, you got Logan Julian. He's one of the best linebackers, I believe, in the state of Kentucky, and I even believe beyond Kentucky. But he has to be in a position this year to do that. So that's why we got to be really good with the other 10 guys that we put around him.
Now, last year, Tates Creek, you know, you coached, lost a lot of games by, you know, very few points, you know, just a few points, and you lost some games you should have won. How do you feel you're going to turn that around this year?
As I keep saying, mentality. You know, I talk about grind mindset, and I say it all the time. It's about there's nothing these kids are going to do that I don't do myself. You know, I tell them all the time, I wake up, my alarm goes off at 4:30 in the morning, I go to the gym. I don't want to do it, but I got to look at my age, and I got to look at the fact that I don't make excuses. I'm like, you know, at the end of the day, if I don't make excuses, you don't need it. You know, you don't need to either. So the kids are really starting to buy into that, though. You know, it's no excuses. Let's go out and work and let your actions show, you know, more than just talking about it.
We talk about goals. You always want to ask coaches what their goals are for this year coming up. Not overall goals, but just goals for this team. Now, a lot of coaches tell you the truth, and then a lot of coaches use the old coach speak. You know, oh, we want to look good. We want to improve every day.
Right.
What do you feel in your heart? What is your goal for this football team? I know your goal is to win a state championship, but what are your other goals?
I'll be honest, my goal isn't even to win a state championship. You know, even in track, I've never made that a goal of mine. You know, I've always said I'm going to do what's best for these kids. And so right now, I think the ultimate goal is to bring the families closer I need the families. That's first and foremost. I need to bring them closer to these kids so that they can support these kids, which ultimately bring in the community to provide more support for them as well. And in the process of doing this, let's improve these young people and make them better citizens and better people on and off the field so that they can carry the school. I think if our school can be lifted up even more through the positivity that our football program is bringing, I think that doesn't do anything but create more community success. And I'm not just talking about at Tates Creek High, but at the middle school and throughout all the elementary schools around us as well. So,
yeah.
Speaking of Tates Creek High, you got the new school now.
Yes, sir.
So it's like a new dawn there.
Yeah.
A new beginning. Has that excited your players and got your team fired up with the new facilities and everything there?
Yeah.
Maybe a new beginning?
It has. The hardest thing for us is that we haven't been able to have a locker room all year. We haven't had a weight room all year. So we've kind of had to do things old school down at the stadium, and that's pretty much where we've been all summer. And as a coach, I've been tired because I'm moving everything back and forth trying to do it. But I'm thankful for the soccer coaches because they've been letting me take their soccer rooms and turn them into a weight room / locker room for us. But I've been blessed for the community of coaches we have at Tates Creek that allows me to do that. And so the kids are hungry because they see, we've been given nothing this summer. Our administration and AD have done a great job of supporting, but we haven't had a building. And so that's something else. That's a chip on our shoulder as well. That's kind of like we've been working. We've had no choice but to work, and do it the right way. So they're excited. They're excited, but they're hungry. And I can't wait for them to get in this new locker room because, I've busted my tail to make sure that they got a good one. So hopefully they enjoy it.
But how did you look, going back to what Gary actually started out talking about, how did you look in your scrimmage?
We didn't play. We actually did a team scrimmage instead of doing a regular.
That's right. You had an
scrimmage. E-Town Friday, right?
We go E-Town Friday. But
that's going to be a tough scrimmage. E-Town's always tough.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be real tough. That's why I enjoyed it. That's why I did it. But now, against each other, the biggest thing for us is teaching each other. I need our kids to learn how to practice. That's what we've been telling. I've been telling the coach because in the past, I've seen even before I came back last year, a lot of times we want to teach toughness, and our kids try to kill each other at practice, right? And so I love it, but we got to learn to keep each other healthy. Yeah. And so we took a lot of time to get our kids to make that first impact and teaching them how to tackle properly. That's another thing we try to do put a lot of emphasis on. But we did a lot of good things. We had a really good running game going. Andrew looked really well throwing the ball. Receivers caught the ball really well. But defense, I'm telling you, they were flying to the ball, and that's all you can ask for. Defense looked really good. So, but again, we're still growing. We're still learning. And so we still got a long way to go, but we want to continue to just keep pushing every day.
Gary, I'm excited about Tates Creek this
I'm
year.
excited.
We're excited to watch you. And I'm really, I feel the same way as you do, and I always have. I'm really excited to see how you develop these kids as people, and academics and the whole bit, because Gary does that with his show all the time. He has great athletes come on the show, but he has these kids that he shows their academic standards and how smart they are and how hard they work in the classroom. And that's what I expect out of Jonathan Hawks this year too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You'll get that. that's first and foremost. I don't sugarcoat it. I let everybody know, the discipline, the way these kids carry themselves on and off the field, track, it doesn't matter, That's a representation not only of us as a football program, but of your family, and my job is to make sure that your family is proud, not just of us as coaches, but they can come to a game and realize that their son or daughter has an opportunity to go play at the next level, and that's what we got to create, and it doesn't always have to be in sport.
But you know what you're doing? You're starting inside the head before you're worried about what they're doing on the field.
That's right.
You're starting in the head, and that's the place to start when you're trying to build a program.
That's right. That's right. They're coming together. We're teaching them how to be player-led. That's one of the biggest things we're doing.
Yep.
So we're doing little things here and there. Again, this weekend, I'm not vocal, but I took all my parents out to eat this weekend because I just want to show them how much they mean to me. And again, without them, we can't do more for our kids. So,
you got to find some way to spend all that big coaching money you got now.
I ain't got no money. I'm scraping right now.
Hey, I got one more question for you. Can you still run the 4.240?
Shoot, no.
Hey, Gary, we got a quick answer that time.
I sure did.
Them hamstrings done.
we're approaching 7:20, Coach Amin, and we're trying to stay on time. And we got a special gift for you, Jayhawk. It's a gift card from Rafferty's right here at Rafferty's Restaurant. For you to eat there. I know you said you were hungry, so we sure you you didn't want to partake in any of our appetizers, but we sure are looking forward to the things going on at Tates Creek High School this year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys for having me on.
All right, buddy.
Jayhawk, there you go. Take that
yes, sir.
gift card. That's from Rafferty's. That's Jonathan Hawks. I tell you what, he'll do great things at Tates Creek.
I guarantee he will. And I'm really looking forward to it, Gary. I really am.
We appreciate you, Jayhawk. We really do.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that's Jonathan Hawks. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have head coach. Let's see who we're going to have. Philip Hawkins from Bryan Station will be with us after this break on PrepSpin.com.
If you're dealing with a sports injury, UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine is here to help you get back on your feet. Ranked as high performing by US News and World Report, the same physicians who take care of UK athletes are here to offer expert sports medicine care for you and your family. UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine, official healthcare provider for the KHSAA.